Sup, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold, and as a lot of you guys probably know by now, Legion has not been the most friendly towards alts, especially coming right out of Warlords of Draenor. But that doesn't mean that a lot of people still don't want to play those alt characters just to experience that different class and switch up the gameplay a little bit. So today, for this video, what I wanted to do is talk to you guys about some different ways you can use and utilize your alt characters in ways that you might not really have access to if you only had one main. Now, some of these things on the list are going to only appeal to people who are really hardcore or people who really like to make money, and there's something on this list about pet battles. So maybe not everything is going to appeal to you on the list, but these are options that you can take advantage of, and I think that something on this list will appeal to anybody, and so it'll make it a little bit easier to justify spending the time leveling up an alt character. Now, number one is going to be professions. Obviously, professions, and not really just professions, but especially gathering professions. The odds are on your main, you've probably got two crafting professions, like I've got blacksmithing and engineering, so you have on your alts maybe like mining, herbalism, or skinning, or something like that. And in Warlords of Draenor, those were completely fucking useless because you had your welfare flowers and your welfare rocks coming out of the mine and the herb garden. So there was no reason to even have those professions. It was basically not having anything at all. But in Legion, obviously, that's been changed. There are no more welfare rocks or welfare flowers, and it's kind of left a vacuum in the economy where people can make a lot of money through herbalism and through mining and also through skinning. And there are a lot of different ways that you can do that. And I don't really think I need to make a video about any of those locations, just because they've been shown so much on other people's channels. So if you are looking for a location for skinning, mining, or herbalism, just look it up on YouTube. There's going to be a million different examples. I would not necessarily take the gold per hour estimates to be gospel, though. Okay, probably not true. But the locations are definitely very, very good. So being able to use gathering professions on alts to make some money is definitely a very, very useful way of using your alts if you want to be able to farm gold on those with a way that might not necessarily be something that you could have been able to even do really in the last expansion. I've seen a lot of people, I saw Belure made a video about this, I know Umran's made a video about it, a lot of people have, making 101 twinks where they get a character to 101. There's a lot of BOEs that you can buy at 101 that are like 850 or so, so you have like this badass twinked out character with like 90% crit, 20% leech, and like 120% haste, and he's just killing everything in one hit. And that's a very, very good thing to do if you are very, very invested in going ahead and actually like spending time and money on this type of content. Now, for me personally, I'm a stingy fuck, and I'm not going to spend 800,000 gold on a level 101 character. But I know a lot of other people do, and they probably come out ahead with it because of how much gold they make. So that's definitely something that you guys can take advantage of. Just go ahead and look up either one of those two guys, and they're going to have more than enough information for you. And that'll allow you to solo dungeons and skin stuff in dungeons, lots of things like that, where you can make a really good amount of money. Now, number two, besides professions, is repeating lucrative world quests. Obviously, as soon as you hit 110, now you can just automatically activate world quests outside some of the Suramar ones. So that means, really, I mean, I know this might trigger some people, but the pet battle dailies, okay? There's like a pet battle daily in Dalaran where you gotta go kill a rat, and you can kill a rat with like one pet, right? So you just go kill the rat, log off, kill the rat again, do that 5 more times for me, because I've got 7 characters, and I've got like 100 more pet charms, right? And each pet charm, on average, like, I guess like doing the daily, it's like probably like 200 or like 300 gold. So I'm doing this logging off 1, 2, 3. I'm making probably 2,000, 3,000 gold in the time of like 10 minutes or something like that. So it's very, very efficient to do that. So if you see world quests that are active, especially like the world boss world quest that you can do, and they give you like something like 800 gold, you can just go do that with your alt character. It's super fucking easy, and you just make 800 gold for maybe like 10 or 15, 20 minutes of work. So being able to repeat those lucrative world quests, even if you don't like pet battles, there are other ones that are very, very big gold payouts, or also just other payouts of different things like work orders if you have professions, and you can take advantage of those. I would say that's a very, very useful thing to do, and something that I've been doing a lot, especially whenever there's a pet battle in Dalaran that also rewards pet battle charms. Now, number 3 is something that probably if you played in WoD and you had a million different alts to do the treasure finder missions, you understand entirely, which is the order hall missions. Now, order hall missions are in some ways more lucrative than the garrison missions, but in some other ways not as lucrative. Basically, each mission that you can get a pretty good amount of money from it, but it's very hard to 200% the missions. So you have to invest a lot in a character and make sure that you complete the Order Hall campaign. And that kind of ties into another one where there are achievements that you actually can get, and this is only for neckbeards like me, but basically there are achievements that you can get for completing the class Order Hall campaigns on like 3 characters, 5 characters, and I think there's one for completing it on every single character. So if that's something that interests you, that's obviously a compelling reason to level alts. But even if it's not, if you do have an alt character, getting a few of the followers or the champions or whatever up to the max level and then gearing them out a little bit and then sending them out on the gold missions is also a pretty good way to make a little bit of extra money. Now, obviously, you are able to, you're not really able to do the same thing in a garrison because, like, in the garrison, you never even had to leave the garrison because you just go and you just get the Order Hall resources from the box and you come back and you just do the missions. So there was no real worry about currency, but obviously in Legion, that you need to have Order Hall resources, and you can only really get those through doing world quests. But there is another way that you can get them, but I haven't really done this a whole lot, where you can spend Blood of Sargeras on whatever character that you have it on, and you get a BOA item to where you can ship 200, I believe, Order Hall resources to an alt. So if you really don't want to play the alt, but you just want to have the Order Hall resources on it, that's a good way to make that happen. So I would say, like, this is only something that I would recommend if you're actually going to be playing the alt a lot and, getting the 3rd relic slot and everything for it. Just because if you're not doing that, it can take a very, very long time getting all the champions leveled up. But at the end of the day, I mean, the expansion is probably going to be out for another year or so, so you're going to have plenty of time to capitalize and be able to get a really good return on your investment of spending that time to gear out those champions to do those missions now. Now, also something that a lot of people might not notice, but there are a number of items that are unique transmog items from each different Order Hall. So for Paladins, they have like this big badass spiky mace. Hunters, the Survival Hunter polearm that looks really cool. Warriors have this like weird claymore thing that kind of looks like the Admiral Taylor's greatsword and wad. So there are a number of different transmog items that are unique to Order Halls as well as pets, and also in 7.2 I believe there's going to be new pets added into the Order Hall that you do have to get if you're on that specific character. So if you're a Death Knight, I think you have to do the Order Hall questline in order to get the thing for the Death Knight pet, right? Now, I don't know if that's been changed. I think something was discussed about it, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, even if that's not the case, right now there are unique rewards from each class Order Hall, so you can level up your character and be able to access those as well. Some of those are locked behind class Order Hall research, so it's not just as easy as just leveling up and just buying them whenever you finish your artifact weapon. But last thing is something that this is something that you can always do, right? But I wanted to kind of reiterate, since we're in a video about it, is you can do transmog runs and you can do mount runs, right? So you can go through BWL or like whatever dungeon you want to do if you have a character like, I'm a warrior, and so I could go through there on my Death Knight and get a couple of other plate pieces that I might not have on my warrior, and so then I can kind of be, getting it for my warrior, even though my warrior could be saved. So it gives me extra chances to go for special transmog items as well as different mounts. I try to do the Pandaria World Boss mounts every single week. I haven't gotten any of the mounts. I also do Elgon every week. I'm going to get Elgon next week, so that's not a big deal. And I've been doing a lot of the other mount runs and stuff like that, especially for pets and everything else that has a weekly lockout. Obviously, you can circumvent that by having extra characters. So getting your characters up to 110 makes it just that little bit easier. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're more of a completionist like I am, that's something that you can definitely do and take advantage of. The more characters you have, the more chances you have. But also, of course, it does take more time. So it depends on what you really, what really your priorities are. So anyway, guys, those are pretty much my my bits of advice and things that you can do to utilize your alts and use them in unique ways that give you advantages that you wouldn't necessarily have advantages or have access to those advantages if you only had one main character. Now, I'm pretty sure I forgot a number of different things, so if you guys think of anything else that you can do to kind of get a unique advantage by having an alt in Legion, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. I would be very, very curious, so I could use it myself maybe. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got. So thank you for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.